Hi guys, Mike Lambo here. Quick playthrough of Lone Sherman, and I'll explain some of the rules, or hopefully quite a few of the rules will go along, but there is quite a lot to it and it's unlikely we'll get to see everything because each playthrough will be quite different depending on sort of the events that happen and units that appear and so on. So it's certainly replayable in that sense. This is mission 1, the village. The objective is to destroy both Panzer IVs and then move off the map in the direction of the red arrow, which is up there. Okay, so that's what I've got to do. Set up, place the Sherman on the black arrowed hex facing the direction the arrow is pointing. There it is. So that's me. Place 2 Panzer IVs on different black numbered hexes. So I'll re-roll one of those different black numbered hexes. It's 2 and a 4. So I get 2 Panzer IVs and I will put those there and there. Okay, these counters come with the game. There aren't loads of them, and it's actually quite a good one to do acetate, pen and pencil and so on, because there aren't too many counters on the board at any one time, as you'll see, no doubt. All right, so I've put my crew in here. You can see my commander is here and my loader, my gunner, my driver, my assistant driver. Again, you don't have to use these. You could just leave these blank and then sort of just circle or tick or cross through the KIA as and when they are killed in action, if that's the case. So, you know, plenty of flexibility over how you play it as ever. So that's what we've got to do. So we're starting here. We've got to destroy these 2 and then clear off the top of the map. So I'm going to start here. There's 7 phases. So let's just get on with it and you can have a look how it works as we go through. Phase 1, remove Sherman smoke. There isn't any, we don't need to do that. Second one, position the commander. So I can put him out the hatch where, let's just say, he's more useful, and we'll see some of the ways he's useful. But he's in more danger doing that. So you could lose him more easily. Inside, he is safer, but less useful. So, you know, kind of depends on the situation on the ground at the time as to what you do. For now, I think I will... It's going to be difficult actually to get a shot on any of these Panzers on my first turn. So I think for now I'm going to just leave him in there. Just leave him in there. Okay, so then we move on to phase 3, which is the Sherman tank operations phase. I can maneuver, then attack, and then do miscellaneous actions, or I can attack, then maneuver, and then do miscellaneous. So miscellaneous has to come last, but these 2 are interchangeable, hence this arrow, double pointed arrow here, and it says A or B maneuver, A or B attack. So, you know, you can do them in either order. So I'm going to, because I can't attack anyone at the moment, line of sight runs along the 6 hex lines out of your own hex. Same with the Germans. So it makes line of sight really easy in this game again. They're not in one of those 6 lines of sight, so I can't see them, so I can't attack. So I'm going to maneuver. First thing to do is work out how many dice you get. He's on a road, so I get 2 dice for being on a road, and then I get 1 because my driver is still alive. It says here, look next to number of dice. I get 1 more because my assistant driver is still alive, because I've just started the game, obviously. And I get another 1 if my commander is out of the hatch. So you can see there straight away that he's more useful when he's out the hatch. He's not out the hatch, so I don't get that 1. So 4 dice. I'm going to roll those. Oops, just roll that one again. I get 1, 4, 5, 6. And I don't have to deal with these. I can deal with these in any order. And I just match them against the actions down here. So I've got a reverse, and I've got a turn, and I've got 2 moves. And I can do that, and I can turn then move twice, or move then turn then move, and so on. If you get a double, it gives you a bit more flexibility, and usually you would with 4 dice, but I didn't, so I haven't got that. I'll explain that when I get to it. Let's have a think about what I want to do. He's probably going to come out here somewhere. He's probably going to come out there, so it'd be quite useful to be down here, I think. I'm going to turn using the 4, and then I'm going to move, but just once. Do I? If I go there, I could well be in his line of vision when he moves forward. If I go there, I could be in his. I think I'll go again. I'll move again down there, the 5 and 6. So I turned, and then move. Don't need the reverse. Because he'll be further away, so less likely to hit. So I'll just park down there for the moment. I still can't attack anyone because whilst he's in potentially one of my lines of sight along this hex row, buildings block line of sight, so I can't see through this farm here. Can't see through this farm. Okay. The 3 basic types of hex are road hexes, which is obviously this. All these hexes here that are coloured in cream or light grey for where there's buildings. So this is a road. These are road hexes. The green hexes are all field hexes, and this kind of muddy cracked sort of mud thing is for mud hexes here. Okay, and you can see buildings can appear on mud, they can appear on roads, they can also appear on fields. So they're villages here and farms if they're on the mud or on fields. So, yeah, we'll see how they work later on. But for now, I'm safe here from him because he can't see through these buildings. So that's me moved. I can't attack because of this building. Therefore, I can do my... Oh, actually, I'm still going to roll for an attack because what I want to do is load up the main gun. So I'm in a field, so I get 2 for being in a field. I get 1 for my gunner, 1 for my loader, and 1 for, because my commander is out the hatch. So I get 5 dice. Sorry, my commander isn't out the hatch. What am I talking about? I get 4 dice. Let's roll those. I've got 2, double 3, and a 6. So in fact, the 2 is a load. 1s and 2s are load. So I can load up my main gun. Because I'm using the counters, I'm going to put the shell there on the loaded spot to remind me that the gun is loaded. 3s allow me to fire machine guns, and the 6 allows me to fire the main gun. A double can allow me to fire the main gun if my gunner is alive, or to load if my loader is alive. So I could have loaded with the double 3 as well because my loader is still alive. Note that if you use a double down here, you're using those instead of using them for their main actions above. So that if I use that to load or fire the main gun, I wouldn't be able to use them individually for their fire machine gun effect. So decisions to make there. But I'm going to load up the tank like that, ready for action. And then I'm going to move on to the miscellaneous operations phase. And here I get 2 dice for being in a field, plus 1 for my commander being alive, whether he's popped hatch or buttoned up. So it doesn't matter where he's at this point. He's just kind of giving orders. He's telling people what to do. It doesn't matter whether he's up or down. He's going to be, you know, screaming at them, whatever. So I get 3 dice. So fields are the best place to be for this phase. It gives you the most flexibility over what you might be able to do. I've got a 1, 2, 5. So 1 again allows me to fire the machine gun if my fire the main gun if my gunner is alive, or load if my loader is alive. A 2 allows me to fire machine guns, but only if my assistant driver is alive. So these are very much bonus actions. And the 5 allows me to pop smoke or repair. I'm not damaged. I don't need to do that, but I can pop a bit of defensive smoke out. So I'm going to do that just to help. That's the end of my phase. Now we remove German smoke in phase 4. There isn't any. Phase 5, we check whether I'm on fire. I'm not, so don't need to worry about that. And phase 6 is the German operations phase. We start with the tank nearest to us. And this guy is nearer, so he goes first. He's on a field hex. Remember, there's only 3 types of hex for determining dice rolled. Fields, mud, and road. He's on a field hex, and therefore he rolls 4 dice. This little number 4 here next to field. So we roll the 4 dice, and then we put those into ascending order and deal with them in that way. So for him, he gets a 2, which is move. There are 2 orders here. If you can do the first one, you don't do the second one. You only do the second one if you can't do the first. You only ever do 1 order. If you can't do either, you just ignore the dice. So he'll always try and move first. Move means move in the direction you are facing, as it did for the Sherman. So he moves there. Then he's got another 2. So again, he moves the way he's facing that way. So far it doesn't look like he's noticed as much. Then he gets a 4, which is a turn. And German tanks will always turn towards the Sherman. So he's facing up there. Sherman's here. So you just determine what's the shortest angle round, if you like. There are rules underneath for when it's a draw or a tie. But at the moment, for 95% of tank turns, you'll see they will turn simply towards the Sherman, which means he'll turn that way. And then finally, 6, he will try to fire. I'm not in his line of vision, and he's of the 6, so that's fine. So instead, he will go hold down. He finds a hold down position there. So some kind of dip where just his turret is showing, so that's a good defensive position to take for him. So that's his turn. Then we look at the other Panzer 4. He's in a field as well, so he rolls 4 dice. And you always do all the actions from the column which reflects the hex in which the tank started. So even though he might move onto the road, for example, you wouldn't then change to the road column. You would, for this turn, you just stick with that. Okay, so the best thing to do is, you know, if you're likely to forget that, just have a little cube or something, or a marker that you can just put on the one that he's doing, you know. I tend to just keep my finger on it whilst I'm doing the action. So he's in a field, so here we go with the field. He rolls 4 dice. And again, we get them into order. Number 1 is he will try to fire. Again, he can't do that. So instead, he will turn towards the Sherman, which means he'll turn facing down there, even though he's facing a woodland into which he cannot move. So these woodland hexes are inaccessible to tanks. It's thick wood. 3, he'll try to fire again, still can't, and then he'll try to move. He can't do that because there's woodland in the way. Then he gets a 4, which means he'll turn again towards the Sherman. Remember, he's facing down here, the Sherman's over there, so he'll turn to his right, because that's the shortest way towards the Sherman, even though that takes him sort of past it. And then 5, he will move or reverse, so he moves out at last. So fortunately for us, not particularly effective movement. He could easily have moved out on the first, if he'd rolled a 2 first instead of a 1, he would have moved out straight away and then probably fired at us, but fortunately didn't. So we got away with that one a little. So that's the end of their turn, or their phase, and then we do the event phase, end of turn events. Roll 2d6, simple as that, and check the chart. 7 is all adjacent German infantry attack. Well, there are no adjacent German infantry. In fact, there are no German infantry at all. They appear under a different end of turn event, but once they're on the board, they will attack if I'm adjacent to them. So that's done, first turn. Come back to the start, phase 1, remove Sherman smoke, I should say, so the Sherman smoke dissipates. And then I need to position my commander. So do I leave him in there still, or is it time to get him out? I think it's time. Let's bring him out to try and help with this, because we do have to get rid of these 2 panzers, remember. I can't just keep, leading them a merry dance everywhere. So let's have a go. I'm going to... am I going to fire first? I'm going to attack first, I think, because he is in my... No, I'm not. I'm going to manoeuvre first, mainly because he's a long way away and I'm firing out in one of the 3 backward-facing lines of vision from my tank, or lines of sight, and that it brings a detriment in itself to my firing. So better to try and get him towards the front of the tank if possible. So I'm going to manoeuvre before I attack. He's on a field, which is 1 dice. Driver gets 1, assistant driver gets 1, and the commander being out gets 1. So I still get 4. So roll again. And I've got 2 2s and a 5 and a 6. So again, I've got a turn, a move, and a move. Turn, turn, move, move. But I could use that for a move instead. So I could move, 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 of course. But I'm going to use it to turn. In fact, I wanted 2 turns, so I could turn once and turn twice to face the north. And now the question now is, how far do I move? I'm going to move there, but I'm not going to move again, because that puts me right in front of this Panzer IV and in mud, which is not helpful. So I'm going to stop there, which is still a bit risky because he's quite likely to move forward, but we'll see how that turns out. And then I've got, I've moved, and that's that. So what I'm going to do now is do the attack phase. I'm in a field, which gives me, for an attack, 2 dice. If my gunner is alive, I get 1. If my loader is alive, I get 1. If my commander is out the hatch, I get 1, which he is. So I get 5 dice, plus my turret is already loaded, remember, from that first turn. So I've got a fairly good chance of being able to fire a couple of times here. Now, you'll recall that 3s and 4s are fire machine guns, so they're no good. On their own, they're no good, because a double would be helpful, but they are not a double, obviously, so they go. There are no point firing machine guns because there's no adjacent, well, there are no German infantry, full stop. So I'm loaded up already, so I could fire the main gun, that's 5 and 6, and then I can load with a 1 or 2, and then I could fire the main gun again. So I'm actually going to get 2 shots in here if necessary, so that could be helpful. So let's do the first shot first. I'm going to fire the main gun with a 6. So the first step, there are 3 steps to attacking a tank. The first step is whether you hit it or not. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is the distance. So it says to hit a tank, roll 2d6, target size plus distance away. Okay, so its size is up in this chart here. The Panzer IV is a size 4. And here's, as I say, 1, 2, 3, 4 away. That's 8. So I need an 8 to hit, first of all. So let's see if I do that. I've got an 8. Yeah, double 4 is an 8, so I've got an 8. So I have hit it. So my shell is hitting, which is good news. Then I've got to determine whether I cause any damage or whether it bounces off. So now I look at his armor value, and his armor value is, because I'm hitting the front side, so he's got front, he's got rear, he's got front side, and he's got rear side. And obviously that's front side and rear side as well. So I'm hitting front side. So if we go up here with the Panzer IV, front side, FS is 5. but it's minus my AP, which is 1, so my armor piercing is 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4. I need a 4 plus to cause damage. So I've got a 50-50 shout here, and it's on 1d6. So I need a 4 plus, and I get a 1, so it's bounced off. So my first shot hits, but bounced off. Sorry, that should have unloaded the gun, of course. Now I'm going to load the gun back up with my 1, and then I'm going to fire it again with my 5, so that unloads the gun again, so I'll take that away to remind me. And again, I need an 8. For the same reasons as before, 4 plus the tank, and there's no intervening terrain, and he's not got any defensive terrain or anything, so it's just a straight 8. I've been lucky, I've rolled an 8 again, which is good news, and again I'll need a 4 plus to damage, and again I've got a 2, so it's bounced off again. So 2 early shots, and good shots to say they're so far away, but both are unfortunately bounce offs or deflections, so that's not ideal for me. So I've moved into position, I've attacked. Now miscellaneous here, I'm in a field, which is good, so I get 2 dice for that and 1 for the commander, which is good news, because hopefully with 3 dice I'll be able to get some kind of defences out. Let's see what I get. I have managed to do that. 1 allows me actually to fire the main gun or load, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to load the turret back up, and I can do that because my loader is alive. It says loader, load, so because my loader is still here, I can use that bonus roll if you like. Now a 4 is a repair action, but I haven't got any damage on the turret, or I'm not immobilized, so nothing needs repairing. So instead I'm going to use the double at the bottom here to find a hold down position, which is a good defensive position to find. So that's helpful should I come under attack this turn. That's me done. Moving on to the Germans then. First, remove any German smoke. Well, they didn't put any out last time, so that's fine. And then we check for fire. Still no fire, that's good. And then the German tank operation. So he's going first, this guy here. He's closest to me. He's in a field, so he gets 4 dice in this column. He's got a 2, 3, 6, 6. And that sounds very upsetting. The 2 is a move, so he's going to move into this mud. But remember, he remains in this column for this turn. Okay, he loses his hold down status when he moves. If the tank moves or turns, or in the case of the Sherman reverses, then the hold down position is lost. Remember, a turn is turning the whole hull round, not just the turret, so you lose that hold down position when you do that. So he's moved. The trouble is, he's then got a 3, which is a fire action, and then he's got a 2 6s, which are also fire actions. So he's now going to fire at me 3 times, and from that range, I'm in a bit of trouble. Fortunately, I'm hull down, so you never know, it might just help. So he's going to fire, so he goes through the same steps as we did, so he's 1 away, I'm 1 away rather, and then I'm a size 4, the Sherman, so that's 5. Fortunately, I'm hold down, and it says here, target is hold down +2. So that's the best defensive position I can have. So that 5 becomes a 7. Okay, so the first shot he takes, he needs a 7 to hit, and he gets a 4. So he misses. The second shot he takes, again, he needs a 7 to hit, and he gets a 4 again, so misses. Wow. Final shot he rolls again, he gets an 8. And this is bad news for me. This is very bad news for me. He's hit my tank, but he's hit with a double. And when he hits with a double, it says here, to hit a tank, on a hit with a double, your commander is killed in action if in the popped hatch position. So my commander is in the popped hatch position. And I've now lost him because whatever happens to this shell that hit the tank, it is taking the commander with it. So unfortunately, he's gone. And that really is quite a big blow. That's going to make my tank a lot less effective for the rest of the mission. It's quite unusual to lose it so early. I've probably been a bit reckless here in, where I positioned my Sherman and so on. But I kind of want to show how the game works, don't I? So it's hit. Let's not forget that. It's hit. So next is, will it damage? Well, it's hitting, fortunately, my front armour, straight on direct front armour. And for my Sherman, that's a 6 rating. His AP, armour piercing, is 1. So that becomes 5. Okay, so he needs a 5+ to cause damage. And he doesn't. It's bounced off. Okay, so it's deflected off. Maybe hit the front and deflected up, but unfortunately it's, taken the commander with it, which is really bad news. Quite distressing for the rest of my guys, but we've got to manage somehow. And that's him done. That's him done. So then we do the event for this phase. We get a 9, and that is mechanical failure, just to add to our woes. Okay, so we've now broken down. So the Sherman is now immobilized, if not already. So if it was already immobilized, we just ignore that. I'm going to put the counter up there that says immobile on it, which comes with the game. But again, you can just use any counter up there, or put a mark with a pen or whatever you want to do if you're using acetates. So we are now immobilized, and I need to remember that. So what I'm going to do is just put a little red cube on there to remind myself that I cannot maneuver until I've repaired the tank. Okay, things are not going fantastically well. Back to this phase 1. So first of all, my smoke dissipates. There isn't any. I can't position my commander anymore because he's gone. So think of all those bonuses I'm going to lose. Oh dear. I can't maneuver because I am immobile, so I can attack. Okay, I can still attack. Right, the turret still works. I can still attack in any direction. Okay, the rules are clear on that. Right, just the tank's immobile. I can't move the tank, but I can still spin the turret round. Okay, I haven't got any turret damage, so I'm okay with that. So I'm going to attack. I'm in a field, which gives me 2 dice. I have my gunner and my loader, so I still get 4. I just don't get the commander bonus anymore because he's gone. So I'm going to roll the 4 dice. And that's going to give me 1, 2, 4, 6. Could have been better. The machine gun fire is no good to me. I've got too many loads really. I'm already loaded, so I can fire and then reload. The other load is not helpful to me. So I'm going to fire, first of all, with this 6. And I can fire at this guy up here. The tanks don't block line of sight. I would say these hexes are fairly big scale. And these are sort of 100, 150 yards across, that kind of thing. So, the chances of this Panzer being exactly in the in the way of that Panzer are very small. So I can see him, I can attack him, but obviously I'm going to go for this guy because I've got to destroy them both, and he's right there. So I might as well do that. Easier to hit. So I've got the 1 shot. He's 1 away. His size is 4. That means I need a 5 to hit, and I get a 7. I get a 7. So he has been hit. I'm hitting his front side armor, which is 5. My AP is 1, so I need a 4+ to damage. I've got a 5 this time, so he is damaged. And if we look at the German side of the watt damage chart, then you can see that a 1, 2, or a 3 or 4 means we damage him. And if he was already damaged, he would be destroyed with that. And a 5 and a 6 destroys him outright. So hopefully we'll get a 5 or a 6. We haven't. We got a 4, but that does mean that Panzer 4 is now damaged, and I'm just going to put a damaged. In fact, I'm going to put that right on top of him. He's now got a damaged token on him. And then finally, with my 1, I am going to reload my main gun, which I cannot fire because I didn't roll another fire order or action. Okay, so I've attacked. Remember, I can't maneuver because I am immobile. So that's those 2 sections done. I have to do the miscellaneous last, remember. So I couldn't try and repair and then maneuver because you have to do this section last. And that's part of the reason why. So that, when you do suffer damage, it's always going to put you out at least for 1 turn. So I'm now on the miscellaneous line. I still can't do things on here. I still can't turn or move, for example, which is a bonus move here. I still can't do that because Immobilize says I cannot move, turn or reverse. You just can't do that until you've repaired it. Fortunately, I'm in a field, which gives me 2 dice. It's going to help with the repair. But unfortunately, I don't have my commander anymore. This is where it really comes into its own. It really is a problem. Every turn I'm losing a dice on this chart, which is quite catastrophic. So I've only got the 2 dice. Fortunately, I'm not. If I was in mud or on a road and immobilized, and obviously therefore can't move anywhere else, I'd only ever get 1 dice to try and repair with. It could take a few turns to do that. Got 2 dice. Repair is in 4 or 5, so hopefully I'll see one of those. That's a nuisance. 1 and 3. So okay. So 1 means I could fire the main gun as a bonus because I have my gunner alive and I am loaded, so I could fire the main gun. 3 is if my driver is alive, I can turn or move, but I can't do that because I'm immobilized, so that's no good. I'm going to fire, so that would empty my turret. So I'm going to fire at this guy again, and again it's a 5 to hit because he's 1 away and he's a size 4. I've got a 6, so that's hit him. Again, I'm hitting his front side arm, which is 5. My AP is 1. I need a 4+. I've got a 2. That's a shame. It's bounced off because obviously if I'd hit him that time, then whatever I rolled on the damage chart, he would have been destroyed because he's already damaged. So the whole lot would have been that's it, gone. Second hit that damages destroys automatically. But I've not done that, which gives him a chance to repair. Let's hope he doesn't. So over to the German phases. We're going to remove German smoke. We're going to check. Oh, we're going to check us for fire. We're not on fire, so that's not a problem. And then, in fact, let me put that cube back because we need to remind ourselves we're immobile. Then we get to the operations phase for the Germans. So he'll go first, right next to me. He's damaged, and a damaged tank will always throw in the damage column, regardless of what type of hex they're on. You know, that takes priority, obviously. So he only gets 2 dice, and there aren't loads of orders in here. The one to watch out for is a 1. If he gets a 1, he does repair, which will put him back to full working order. So I'd rather not see a 1. He gets a 4 and a 6. So 4 is he moves. So he, in fact, I'll pull that out so you can see what's going on. He moves the way he's facing. So he goes down there. So he's obviously not immobilized with that damage we gave him. And he gets a 6, which means he pops out some smoke. Okay, so he's taking defensive measures. And that's what you'll find often these damaged German tanks do. They tend to just move away and you know, don't get too involved in the action until they repair themselves, and then they'll come looking for you again. So it's helpful, but of course we need to get rid of him anyway as part of the mission. So we've got to keep on him before he repairs. This is the chance to get rid of him. The other German tank's in a field and looking still quite dangerous up there. What's he got this time? Okay, I think he's going to be moving around with that. So he's got 4, 5, 5, 6. In fact, that could be a bit scary. 4 means he turns, remember, turns towards me, so 1 hex edge towards me, which actually faces him right at me. Then he gets a 5, which is a move. Then he gets another 5, which is a move. Oh dear. And then he gets a 6, which is a fire, first and foremost, and he can fire. He's actually making a run directly for me. I'm 2 away. So 2, I'm size 4, that's 6. Fortunately, I'm in a hold down position. Really useful that I got into that position before I was immobilized. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to hit. So he's only got the 1 shot, he needs an 8 to hit, and he gets a 9. He gets a 9, so he has hit me. Again, fortunately, it's my front armor, which is a 6. His AP is 1, so he needs a 5 or... Oops, he needs a 5 or 6 to hit me. Rebuild the board whilst I'm rolling it. So, and he has rolled a 3. So fortunately, that has bounced right off. That's bounced right off. Good. Lucky. Okay, the event phase gives us a 9, which is mechanical failure. We're already broken down. It's only a 9. It shouldn't come up that often. It doesn't, you know, don't get me... Don't start thinking you need to spend the whole mission bogged down or immobilized. You're not. It doesn't come up that often. But there it is. That's the end of that turn. Back to me. Again, take the smoke away. There isn't any. Position the commander. He's gone, unfortunately. We can't maneuver. So we're stuck in this attack, aren't we? We're going to have to keep going. The field gives me 2. I've still got my gunner and my loader, so I get 4 dice. And they're both in my line of sight. It's this guy. I really want to get rid of him first, I think. Hopefully I'll be able to shoot at them both. You never know. No, it doesn't look promising from that roll, I have to say. Of course, I'm not loaded anymore, so I've got to load first. I haven't rolled any attack dice. I haven't rolled any fire main gun dice, but I have got a double, fortunately, so I'm going to use that. Because my gunner is alive, I'm going to use that to fire the main gun. The 3 is no use to me. So I'm going to load like that, and then I'm going to fire the main gun, which will fire that back out again, obviously. And I'm going to fire at this guy. So again, he's 1 away. He's size 4, which is 5, but he has pop smoke, which means I do need a 6 to hit, slightly more awkwardly. Let's hope I get that. I've got a 7, which is useful. So I've hit him. Now I'm shooting his back or his rear side armor. That's only a 4. AP is 1. Just need a 3. Come on, just need a 3. Oh, would you believe it's bounced off? Or it's deflected away again somehow. And that, again, would have destroyed him. Automatically would have been an auto destroy because he's already damaged. That's frustrating. Moving on then to the miscellaneous phase. I'm in the field, so again I get 2 dice. Ideally, a double 1 would be fabulous because I could load and fire again, but obviously that's 1 in 36 chance. It's a 2 and a 6. So firing machine guns is no good, and putting out fires is no good. What I really needed, of course, was a 4 or 5 to repair my tank. So I'm still immobilized. That's frustrating. Although I'm in the action, so, you know, let's see how it goes. So that's me done. Remove German smoke, so his smoke dissipates. and then check the fire level, it's 0. Then we're back to them, unfortunately. He'll go first. He's damaged. Let's hope he doesn't get a 1. He doesn't. That's good. So he's going to turn. So he will turn round this way towards me, shortest way towards me. So he puts his front side armour towards me, which is unfortunate. Then he's going to move, though. So he then moves there. So again, he puts his rear armour towards me, but he is now in my rear as well. So again, slightly harder to hit. But he hasn't put smoke out this time. So he's still trying to get away from me by the looks of it. The other tank, who's the real danger, he's on a road. Don't really want to see a 1 because that's a fire order. He didn't get that. Oh, he's jumped straight to 3s though, so he does get to do that after all. In fact, that's, yeah, could have been a lot better than that. So the 3s are fire orders, so he will fire and fire again, or fire actions I should say, fire and fire again. So this is this Panzer. So the first fire action there, he needs a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to hit again like last time. He gets a 6, so that misses altogether. Then he fires again, 8+, he gets an 8. So this one has hit, he needs a 5+. He gets a 2, so that bounces off again as well. It bounces off, wow. Ooh, thank goodness for that. But he's pummeling us, isn't he? He's absolutely pummeling us. And he gets a 5, which is a move, and then he gets another 5, which is a move. He can't move again because he can't come into my hex, and therefore he will reverse back out. So he realises he's come too close, realises he's in mud, gets back out of there. Sensible, I guess. Oh, that's not good. Back to the event phase, and we get a 5. Ooh, German infantry. So we roll a d6, and that gives me a 1, and we put German infantry on the red numbered hex. That's in this forest, in this woodland, I should say, up here. That's where the red number 1 is. So he's in the woodland up there. Okay. And that means that if we ever land adjacent to him, he could potentially attack us. It also means that they could sniper my commander if he was out the hatch on the correct event, but only if I was in one of the lines of sight of that. But obviously my commander is gone, so I don't need to worry about that. But that just makes it a little, when I'm on the way out, I'm going to have to probably take a detour or deal with him on the way out when I get there. So it just adds another something to what I've got to do. But let's not worry too much about that. Back to me. Again, we can't manoeuvre, but we desperately need to get some good attacks in. So again, we've got 4 dice, still in the field, still got my gunner and loader, so we've got 4 dice. Let's see what we get. Oh, still not great rolling that. Oh, Michael. In fact, you can't do what you want to do there. That's it's really unlucky to get all 3s and 4s. This is all machine gun fire. All I can do is with 1 double, I can load the gun, but I then have nothing to fire it with. A double 3 even would have been, or another double 4 would have let me fire it. That's not good. That's, part and parcel of having my commander dead. Just gives me fewer options, of course. Again, I can't manoeuvre, so now I'm through to the miscellaneous phase. Right. I really need that 4 or 5 now just to get me repaired, please. Yeah, 4 or 5. Okay, that's pretty good, actually. I've got a 1 and a 5. So the 5 I can use for smoke, but I'm actually... It's tempting to use it for smoke, isn't it? It is tempting to smoke because I'm under such pressure from both tanks, particularly this guy. I'm going to repair. I'm going to repair so I can move next time. Okay, I've repaired that. And then the 1, I am going to fire my main gun because my gunner is alive, so I can do that as a bonus action. That will empty the turret, of course. 1, 2, plus 4 for his size is 6 to hit. And I've got a 7. Like him, I need a 5+ to damage, and it's bounced off again. It's because we're both facing directly each other. Now I can maneuver. I can try and get, on the side of him somehow. That's why I repaired. It's important to do that, I think. That's me done. Remove German smoke. There isn't any. Check the fire level. Don't need to do that. He goes first because he's nearest to me. He's damaged still. And he gets a 2 and a 3. What does that do? He turns again towards me. Like that. And then he moves with the 3. So, I don't know what he's doing, really. He's circling around me. He's got around the back of me now. So it's a bit uncomfortable, that, because if he does fire, not much chance, but if he did ever fire on getting a 5 and was in line with me, that could be a nasty shot of the backside, couldn't it? Right, okay. The other Panzer is on the road, so he's far more dangerous. What's he going to do? Yes, here he comes again. Here he comes again. I'm afraid. So the 1 straight away is a fire action, so he will do that. 1, 2, he needs 6, 7, 8 to hit again. He gets a 6, so he misses. The 2 is a move, so into the mud he comes. The 4 is a move. He can't move because he won't move into there. Then it says to try and turn. This is where I have to have a look at some of these extra rules down here, because obviously he's facing me, so there's no, usually he turns towards me, but he's already facing me. So we look down and it says, if directly facing the Sherman and the facing hex is inaccessible, which it is, but not due to the Sherman. Well, that's not the case, because it is due to the Sherman, so we ignore that. If he's directly in line with the Sherman to its rear, it's not, so we can ignore that. If directly facing the Sherman, then do not turn. So simply stays where he is. So he ignores the turn order. So he can't. So with that 4, he can't move and he won't turn. So he stays there. Then he gets a 5, which is a move. Can't move, so he will reverse back again. So he's back there again. Fortunately, he didn't roll a 6, else he'd have been firing at us again. End of turn event. We have a 6. It's more German infantry. So this is trouble. The longer it takes, the more things can appear and the more challenging it can get. So they're going to come at 3. So they appear in this village hex here. So again, they could attack all around it there. So you see how that puts a big hole in the middle of the map, which just makes it a bit more dangerous and a bit more tricky. You can only remove infantry with machine gun fire. All right, and only when you're adjacent to them. Okay, you can't fire the main two. Basically, this is an infantry unit spread all through the village. Yes, we could, in practice, we could pop shells into the village, but it's unlikely we're going to kill them all doing that. They're hidden in there. They have Panzer Shreks and things, and Panzer Fausts and whatever. So they're grenades and stuff. So they're going to be dangerous. Back to me. Sherman Smoke. There isn't any commander. We haven't got him. What do? We're going to attack first. So we're going to take 4 dice again, because we've still got the gunner and the loader. We're in a field. So let's have a look at that. Let's hope for a better roll. Oh my word, we are getting shocking rolls here. At least we can load up this time with the 1. But again, all we can do with the double 4 is fire once, and the 4 on its own is no use. So who do we fire at? I'm still going to fire at this guy behind me. So he's 1 away and he's a size 4, so that's a 5 to hit, but now he is in my rear line of vision, so I need a 6 to hit. Oh, I've got a 5. I missed it. Oh dear, missed it. Right, now I'm going to move, potentially. I'm in a field, gives me 1 dice. The driver and assistant driver give me another. That's 3 dice. Let's roll and see what I get. Okay, so I've got a turn and 2 moves. Oh, I don't really want to move too far away from this thing. But what I'm going to do, and I'm going to lose my hold down, I'm going to turn, which loses the hold down, and then I'm going to move. I'm going to move twice. Yes, I'm going to move twice up there. These buildings protect me from this Panzer IV now, so that's helpful. Remove German smoke, there isn't any, we're not on fire. Let's go again with the Panzers. So the nearest to me now is this Panzer IV here. And he's on a road. Let's see what he does. Will he come and find me is the question. Okay, let's have a look. He's got double 1, so he's trying to go. In fact, he's got a lot of fire orders here. Fortunately, we're not in line with him anymore. So 1 is fire. He can't do that, so he'll turn towards to face me. Then he's got a 1 again, which is a fire. He won't do that. Remember, and turn. He won't turn either for the same reasons before. Okay. In fact, actually, for slightly different. Let's have a look. If directly facing the Sherman and the facing hex is inaccessible, it's not. If directly in line with the Sherman to its rear, no. If directly facing the Sherman, yes, do not turn. Okay, so he simply won't turn. Same with that one. Sorry, that was that one, wasn't it? He'd already turned. He won't turn with that one. 3, he'll fire. He can't fire because of the building, so he'll move into the village along the road. And then he'll fire with this 6. Oh dear, I thought I was a bit safe over there, didn't I? So he's looking for a 1 plus 4, just a 5 to hit. And he gets a 6. It's another double, so it would have killed my commander if he was out the hatch, but he's already gone, So he fires and hits, and he's unfortunately hitting my rear sidearm, which is a 4. He's got AP1, he only needs a 3, and he gets a 5, so he is causing damage. So let's look at the Sherman damage chart for the first time. If I roll a 1, I am destroyed. If I roll a 1, I'm destroyed straight away, just like that. Okay, this is you know, this is one of those things, bit of push your luck. The more, you know, you can get fired at lots of times and hopefully it'll deflect, or it won't, you know, it'll miss or deflect or cause some other kind of damage. But, you know, there is always that very small chance that you will be destroyed in one shot. And that's life in a tank, I guess. You know, it's a bit like sport, isn't it? The more shots on goal you have, the more you're likely to score. Well, the more shots you let them have, the more likely they are to destroy you. So we don't want to see a 1, and we'll deal with whatever else comes up when it comes up. It's a 4. Okay, it's a 4. A 3 or 4 is fire, +1 on the fire level. So what we're going to do now is put level 1 fire in there. Again, this is a marker from the game, but you can use any marker in there you like. Okay, the fire level has no limits. The game comes with markers of 1, 2, 3, and 4, look like that. 3 and 4, but the fire level can actually go higher than that. It probably never would, because you'd probably all be dead by then, but it could. So he's hit, he's damaged, and he has now put my tank on fire, which is never a good thing to be. All right, the other Panzer here is rolling 2 dice, remember, because he's damaged, and he gets double 4, which means he tries to move. He can't move, so he'll reverse. And then he got the other 4, so he'll move back in there again. So quite what on earth he's doing, I do not know. But being damaged, as you can see, has sent him a bit bananas. Yeah, we really need to get rid of him as soon as we can. Event phase, we get a 7, and on a 7, all adjacent German infantry attack. So these now attack. He attacks all those hexes, and he attacks all those hexes. Fortunately, we're not there, so that's fine. Back to the top. No smoke, commander, gone. He's on a field. That gives me 1, 2, 3 dice. I'd like to get down here somewhere, to be honest. So we've got a 2, 3, 5. So that's good, actually. It allows me to turn twice with the 2 and the 3 like that. And the 5 allows me to move. So I'm going to move down to there. Okay. Still got a fire going on. I appreciate that. But we're still, you know, we can sort that out, hopefully, in the miscellaneous phase. Then we're going to attack. So we're in a field, we get 2 dice, we get 1 for the gun and 1 for the loader, so 4 dice, we're loaded up. No, I don't think we are loaded up, are we? We fired at the end of the last term, sure we did. So I'm going to take that out. So we're looking to load and fire. The dice look better this time. Well, maybe a bit better. That's no good again, that's machine gun fire on its own. So we certainly got a load and a fire. We can't use it with a fire, unfortunately, but... So we're going to load up, first of all, and then we're going to fire it straight away, so I won't bother with the marker. So we're going to fire at this guy, and it's about time we got rid of him. He's 1, 2 away, +4 for his size is 6 to hit. Oh, we've rolled a 5. How ludicrous. How ludicrous. We've missed again. On to the miscellaneous phase. We're on a road. Oh, dear. Yeah, that's... Oh, dear. Oh, I made a horrible tactical error there. A horrible tactical error. I've moved from a field into a road. What I should really have done is gone up here to safety somewhere into a field and got this fire under control. Because I'm on a road, I only get 1 dice in the miscellaneous phase. Okay, now, as I say, this is abstracted out in a way, but the idea is that being in a field is better for things like finding a hold down position. Again, I say I haven't ever been on a tank crew, but I'm guessing, you know, if you're going to repair your tank, you're probably looking to pull off the road, aren't you, into to some trees or behind some trees or something, or, you know, somewhere out of the way to get it repaired. So, you know, more likely to be in a field. So the idea is you get more dice in the field to do those things. We only get 1 for being on the road, and of course my commander is dead. He would have added a dice regardless of his position, but he's gone. So fortunately I've only got 1 dice. Now to put this fire out, I need a 6. So you can see that 2 or 3 dice, you know, being in a field with my commander, 3 dice, really good chance of rolling a 6. Only got the 1, not going to get it. This is going to be difficult for me now, from now onwards. I've got a 4. All I can do there is repair, but I'm not damaged. I've no turret damage and I'm not immobilized. 4 doesn't put the fire out. I need to extinguish the fire, and I haven't done that, so I've made a mistake, and that's going to cost me, I think. So that's me there. That's the end of my turn. Then we remove German smoke, there isn't any, and then we do the fire check, you see. So if the fire level is more than 0, the fire level is 1, because we failed to extinguish it. Then we roll on the Sherman what damage chart with 1d6 per fire level. Okay, now I'm only 1 fire level, but it means I only have to roll 1 die. But I'm rolling on this chart here again as if I had been hit and damaged by a tank. So again, if I get a 1, the fire destroys the tank. And these are the things, again, we'll deal with. I can be immobilized, I can have my turret damaged, the fire can spread, get even worse. And obviously the higher the fire level, the more dice you roll at this stage, and the more likely you are to get that 1, which will bring your game to an end. If I get a 2, one of the crew members has been overcome by fire. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. And we've got a 3. It means the fire has spread. So I'm now at fire level 2. And that is panic stations, to say the least. And that's panic stations. Whilst not having any immediate impact on gameplay, when we get to the next fire level phase, if I haven't changed that and I roll 2 dice on here, what you do is you roll 2 dice and take the lowest. So it's very likely to destroy the tank or kill somebody, or at least spread the fire even further. So this is going to get out of control very quickly, as I'm sure you can see. So that's the fire check. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought where we were then. So now we're on the German operations phase. So we're going to go with this tank that's closest. Oh no, hang on, they're both 2 away, aren't they? So again, I'll roll for it, odds and evens. I've got odds, so this Panzer will go first up here. He's in the road hex, so he'll roll 4 dice. And the last thing I need is him shooting at me now. Thank you very much, Mr. Panzer. He gets a 4, which is a move, so he goes there. Then he gets a 5, which is a move or reverse. So he goes back out because he can't go any further. Then he gets another 5, which is a move again, so he goes back in. So he come out, seen me, gone back in, thought, oh, there's a Sherman there, and he thought, yeah, okay, let's go for it. So he comes out behind me, gets the 6, which is a fire order. Boom, I'm 1 away. Size 4, he needs a 5 to hit. He's got an 8, so he's hit me right up the backside. So my rear armor is 4. He needs a 3 plus to cause damage. He gets a 6, so he has damaged me. So we then look on the damage table and we get a 4, which puts me on fire. So the fire level goes to 3. And oh dear, I think my time in this tank is up. This guy then is damaged. He rolls 2 dice. He gets 2 5s, which, would you believe it, are both fire orders. So whilst he's damaged, he's been messing around like he's no idea what he's doing. Suddenly, he decides he does know how to drive a tank. He does know what to do in war, and he has 2 fire orders. So he's now going to fire twice at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to hit. I'm behind him because I'm in one of his 3 backward-facing lines of sight. So 6 becomes 7 to hit. So the first shot has hit. He's hitting my front side armor, which is a 5, reduced to 4 because of his AP. So he gets 4 to hit, and he's missed. Sorry, it's bounced off, fortunately. Bounced off. Second shot needs a 7 to hit. He gets a 5, so he misses. Whoa, some luck. Then, end of turn event is 10. Oh, here comes a Stuka. That's what we need, isn't it? A dive bomber. In it comes. So, now, if my commander was in a popped hatch position, he could grab that top gun on my Sherman and have a good pop at it. On a 6+, he would destroy it. However, my commander is not in the popped hatch position because he's dead. And therefore, the Stuka does come in and it hits on an 8+ with no modifiers. Remember, it's attacking from the sky, obviously. Therefore, we don't have to worry about terrain and all that kind of thing, hold down positions and stuff. Always an 8+ to hit. Unfortunately, he rolls a 7, so he misses and off he goes. Very lucky there because they do damage fairly easily on a 3+, and then there would have been another roll on the damage chart, which is the last thing we need. Okay, so that's the end of that turn. Back to me. I can still maneuver and attack before I try and get this fire under control, but what I desperately need to do is get in a field. So I'm going to roll 2 for the road, 1 for the driver and 1 for the assistant driver. And that should be enough to get me into the field, I hope. Okay, I've got lots of variety here. Yeah, I've got 2 turns, a reverse and a move. So I'm going to turn with a 2. And then I'm going to move in here with a 5. And then I'm actually going to turn again there with a 4 just to get slightly better armor position back towards this Panzer if he comes around. Because you never know, I might survive. Okay, so that's my maneuvering. Then I'm going to attack. 2 for the field, 1 for the gunner, 1 for the loader. Come on, at least get rid of one of these Panzers, blimey. 1, 2, 3, 5, again, is not great. I can load up, that's no good, and I can fire, that's no, and I can load again actually, can't I? So I can load, fire, load. So let's load with that, and then I'm going to fire. So I need a 1, 5 to hit. Oh, I rolled a 3, would you believe that? I can't believe how difficult it's been to get rid of him. Usually he'd have gone ages ago, and it would have been a one-on-one. And one tank shootout, if you like. Never mind. That's dice for you, isn't it? So that's shot out, and then I'm going to reload that with my 2. So at least I'm loaded, ready for the next turn. Miscellaneous, at least now I'm in a field. I've got 2 dice here, so double 6 would be fantastic, but just 1 6 will at least give me some chance. I've got a 2 and a 3. I can fire my machine guns, that's really helpful. And I can turn or move because my driver is alive. Do I want to do that? No, I don't actually. I'm going to stay there. And I don't get to do that. Don't get to put the fire out. The German smoke is removed. There isn't any. And then the fire level check. If it's greater than 0, oh look, it's 3. I think, is that the highest I've ever had? Probably the joint highest. I think I've ever been to 4. So I've got 3. I have to roll 3 dice on this damage table, and I take the lowest score. Okay. And I've got a 1 4 5. Okay, 1 4 5. I take the lowest score. That's 1, and 1 says my tank is destroyed. Boom. My Sherman has succumbed to what was a raging fire. Unfortunately, it's been destroyed, and I have lost the game. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to explain. I think I've covered most things there. I say there are 1 or 2 other events we've not seen, and there are events in 1 or 2 other events in other scenarios that we haven't seen here. We didn't see sniper fire. I'd say that, if my Sherman was, say, there or there in line of sight of and him of any infantry, and we get sniper fire, then snipers from those infantry shoot, and that would kill my commander if he is in the popped hatch position. We didn't roll any 4s either. They're really useful. That says if the commander is not killed in action, so obviously wouldn't have been useful for me, but had my commander been alive, which most of the time he will be, then I could perform a bonus load, repair, or extinguish action. So they can be helpful, particularly if you're damaged and then you roll that, you can repair straight away without having to miss a maneuver or attack phase with a damaged turret, or because you're immobilized. So that's quite useful. I think we saw everything else. 11 plus means that in this mission would mean a Panzer 3 would have appeared somewhere randomly around the edge and joined in the fun as well. Although you wouldn't have had to have destroyed that because it's not part of the objective. Nonetheless, clearly that would have been a pain to have on the board as well. Okay. So there are, and I'd say there are other, sometimes you get mines on roads. And I'm sure there's probably another 1 or 2 events that just escaped my mind, but that's most of them. So that's how that plays. It's not easy, as you can see. Usually I do better than that, though, I have to say, but it is perfectly easy to get killed, and that is what happened to me. Okay, hope you enjoy that one, guys. Thanks very much.